How's it going, everybody? It has only been about a day or so since I last played a Zelda game. I recently did a poll in which would decide which Zelda game I would play next. This game and Fire Emblem Hourglass were tied when I did this, or filmed this. So I did Minish Cap first. If there's a change or anything, or even if there isn't, I probably might stick with a... Actually, I might put a Phantom Hourglass for you up soon, so we'll just see how things go. But I'm just gonna get started. So this is our first opportunity to control Link for this game, and Minish Cap actually introduces a unique feature for the 2D games, and that being rolling. Now, I don't know the exact properties of how the rolling works in this game, but from what I can tell, it gives you some invincibility frames. I don't know if you could spam it to stay invincible. I don't know if every frame is invincible. It does seem like there's some good leniency, like you can roll through enemies if you time it properly. You can't roll over holes, which makes sense. But if you're in a pinch of a spot, there does seem to be quite a bit of leniency. It doesn't work over fire that I've seen, like there's some fiery obstacle. It doesn't work over those, and same with holes. It doesn't work over those either. But it's a nice little way to dodge. Unique to this game, so it's there, and it makes fast travel nice. You can spam the rolling like you do in the 3D games and then just go around all over the place, and just gets you around a lot faster. But to start off, we are acquiring the blade, which is meant to go to Hyrule Castle, and I believe it's the reward for a competition there, which is a sword contest or a little fight that goes on. And you might have already guessed, but it is going to end up being our first sword, which I want to say that the sword you get after this, the Picori sword, is going to be a bit stronger. I think by like 1 damage or something. I believe there's a scale on the Zelda Dungeons website that kind of goes through all the damage works in each Zelda game, so give that a little peek if you're interested in how each attack deals a certain amount of damage to enemies. But right off the bat, we just follow Zelda, and she's going to kind of give us a little glimpse of Hyrule Castle Town, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first... I think this is the first appearance of Hyrule Castle Town in a Zelda game. Because I know... Or, excuse me, a 2D Zelda game. Because I know that Link to the Past, that had Kakariko Village. I don't really think that's considered Hyrule Castle Town. So, I think this actually is the first appearance of Hyrule Castle Town in a 2D Zelda game, which is really cool. I do like what they did with the whole area. Gives it a unique little feel. You don't have to talk to all these people. I just felt for 100% sake that maybe I would speak with most of the people here. You can't get any items right off the bat in this area. Well, actually you do, but just forget I said that. Alright, you do get one item here. Everything else the villagers tell you is just kind of about the festival and what the Pokori are, the mystery going around it. And this is the only time you're going to see these fancy decorations here, so might as well enjoy the party while you can. Some of these people are going to disappear and then never be seen again, but it's okay, because we don't need to see them again. I do like that they give a little design for this area for the party theme. It's really cool, Pokori Festival. I don't really think you'll see too many festivals in the early Zelda games, so this is a nice little breath of fresh air. In terms of connections to other Zelda games, I believe this was the inspiration for Wind Waker Link, his art design. Maybe it was vice versa. I do like playing as capless Link. I think if they did a New Game Plus feature for this game, that playing without the cap would have been cool, although maybe an invisible cap, because you do get the cap later on, and that's a big gameplay mechanic for this game. It is probably my top 10 Zelda games. I recently did a practice playthrough of this, just so I'm not super clueless when I play through and actually have a general idea on how to 100% it, because this is going to be a 100% playthrough. It is top 10. And I know that it feels like with Zelda games, there's only so many that are in everyone's top 10. Like, it's kind of the same for a lot of people, because some of the spin-off games or side games just aren't exactly great, or maybe they are great, but they're not amazing. I don't know, but kind of get a feel for the general townspeople by talking with them, get an idea of what's going on with the festival and whatnot, and you get to party a little bit, which is cool, so that's always nice to have. I think that's kind of all I have to say about the festival. But once you're done talking with everyone, you can talk to Zelda, and then she's just going to kind of go around for a little bit, exploring each individual little stand, and then talking to this old guy. And I don't know what exactly she's looking at. Why she's so fascinated by this random dude. And we will actually find out the winner in just a few minutes at the festival. And an interesting thing about this little lady here is that you'll see one of the prizes she's going to have is a heart container. And I was always curious about this heart container when I was younger, because, like, it's a heart container right at the beginning of the game. So it made me wonder, was there originally going to be a heart container that you obtained from this lady? Like, was there going to be some sort of lottery that you could participate in? And I don't know, the closest thing, I mean, you do actually get a heart container, not from a boss later on in this game, and it makes me wonder maybe if this heart container we're seeing here ends up going to that guy, like the properties of it, or however that works. So I don't know if it was switched from this lady to the Pokori later on, or how that works. I think this is a lady, it looks like one, but I don't know. So it's just something interesting that I thought about. Maybe it's not interesting to everyone, but you never know. So, right off the bat, we get a small shield. It is actually pretty useful, because it has the same properties like the Oracle games did. It's not like a Link to the Past where it just kind of blocks at random. It, if you hold the button, you will block most projectiles. Oof. I don't think it works against laser beams, but there is a shield upgrade, but you get it post-game, so it's not the most useful thing in the world, but this is what we're going to have to work with for most of the game, so just know that it's pretty valuable. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, because I like rolling more for dodging, but we'll just see how I perform. We will be seeing some of these characters later, these two specifically, and then some of the little children with boogers going over their nose we'll see later as well. And then you'll notice off to the side how I have everything laid out. I have the heart pieces, the kinstone pieces and the swordsman scrolls. If I can think of anything else that I need to put there in a later episode, I will, but I think that kind of covers the basics of everything. So what'll happen is, as soon as I get a particular item on that side, I will update it mid-video, so I also have timestamps as usual. So if you want to scroll to or skip ahead to a particular point on when I get something, go for it, and then each video you'll be able to tell what I have already, so in case you missed something, you can just backtrack to a certain video and kind of figure out what you're missing. So hopefully it'll be valuable for some people, but if not, oh well, hopefully you'll enjoy the playthrough. During the bigger scenes, I don't plan on talking. Like, there's a festival scene that comes up, kind of treat it like a cutscene, so that's kind of how I'm gonna play through the game. I think that kind of covers everything that I wanted to talk about at the start of the game. So now we can just head over to Hyrule Castle. There's, I believe, some castle guards we can talk to, and after that, there's gonna be another little cinematic that happens. So feel free to talk to these guys, and once you're done with that, just make your way towards the front of the castle, and then there's going to be a little scene that occurs. Alright, so after that unfortunate little event occurred, we are going to wake up in Hyrule Castle in the medic area, and it's interesting that there's only one bed here. This lady is dressed like a medic, so I guess this is all they can afford at Hyrule Castle, or they don't really prioritize helping injured? I don't know, but it's weird that it's right next to the king. Alright, so now we officially have our quest underway. There's not really too many items we can get right off the bat. We can get 2 heart pieces, but aside from that, you can't really do much at the start of the game. I know there's certain Zelda games where you can get like 5 heart containers right off the bat, but this isn't one of them. However, we can complete a full heart container by the end of the first dungeon, which is what I'm going to be doing. There are 2 heart pieces that are going to be coming up, I believe, in this video. I'll kind of go more into that a bit later. But for now, you can talk to people in Hyrule Castle if you'd like. Otherwise, you can head on straight out just by going through this door here. I don't really think the guards have too many important things to say. Townspeople are probably going to be your best bet if you're just kind of trying to figure out what to do by talking to people. And then we do have the map now, so that's easy for navigation. Kind of gives you a general idea on where you can go, where you can't. Because, like most Zelda games, or 2D Zelda games, I should say, goodness gracious. Like most 2D Zelda games, there are certain things that are blocked off due to our limitations. For example, if we can't swim right off the bat, but we will be able to later. And Pegasus boots do make a return in this game. There's some certain areas that actually require them, so we can't get there yet. And climbing is another thing, but can't climb yet, so can't go to those cool areas yet, but in time, all in good time. We don't have bombs yet, so can't go through here, but that leaves us one little area to go to, which I do really like about this game. It kind of really points you to the first area, and then this is kind of like a training area. Maybe not perfectly. I mean, some Zelda games do the training areas better than others, but this just kind of gives you a bit more familiarity with the Zelda game and how this is going to work. Some of the basic mechanics are going to be covered in this first dungeon, and Octo Rocks are good for learning how to use your shield and whatnot, because it's not an automatic shield like it is in Link to the Past, although I do prefer this version of the shield versus Link to the Past, because that one, I don't know, it just feels like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so I don't know, I do prefer this system. But anyways, we're going to make our way through the woods, and then there's going to be another scene that's going to be coming up pretty quickly. Just a bit. And then you can kill these guys, you don't have to. I think they'll sometimes drop rupees or heart pieces. Or pieces of heart, or hearts. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to be seeing these stumps a lot throughout this game, or things that look like that, and what they'll allow us to do is shrink down, which is a new gameplay mechanic for Zelda, introduced in this game. There's a heart piece off to the left, but I think that I take care of this guy first, helping him. But you can get it before you save him, or after, it doesn't really matter, because we'll be able to access this later, anytime. But like I was saying, these stump things are going to be accessible later on in the game. No, they'll be accessible right now, but there's going to be different types. Some of them not so, I guess, noticeable, maybe? Some are kind of hidden, but you can usually figure them out because they're going to have a little glowing thingy coming from them. But right off the bat, we gotta help this dude out because he's being bullied and we do not support that. So once you help him, he's gonna follow us for a little bit and you're gonna have to see what happens. So, we gotta walk this little bird creature, and you're gonna notice he's a little slow, so mayhaps there's gonna be something we can do to make him a little bit faster. Which you'll see right now. He is going to be able to help us out with just random little bits of information if you're lost. I believe he kind of gives you a heading on where to go and whatnot. But the mechanic I was just talking about is shrinking, and now that we have... Okay, I'm blanking on his name. This Picori dude, just call him that for now. I think his name's Ezlo, though, or something like that. He's going to allow us to shrink down, and you can roll when you're tiny, you can use your sword, and at some point we'll be able to swim. But right now, all we can really do is walk around and swing our sword and roll. When you're in a area that looks like this, but you're tiny, then you have access to all your items. I believe the reason that you can't use them when you're just tiny, like in a giant area like this, is just because it would be a pain to have to animate everything over again, and there's not really a reason to. But that's our first piece of heart, and now that we have that, there is one more piece of heart we can get, and that's going to be coming up in just a few minutes. So when you shrink, he's going to do this little ritual thingy, and we're going to shrink. You get a nice little cinematic, depending on where you shrink. If you're in a pot, it creates a similar cinematic, but just a different layer, or area. So now that we're tiny, we can actually explore certain new areas. And right now he's just kind of explaining the basics of being Minish-sized. Like he says, puddles are dangerous. We do not want to step in puddles, because they're like drowning. But we can explore little tree stumps, which is exciting, I guess. And the lily pads are going to be our one way of travel, which I believe I stumbled a few times here. Alright, but I should get it this next time. There we go. So, for now, when we're Minish-sized, the lily pads are going to be how we get around the water. We're also still tiny here. I know it looks different, but it's just for gameplay purposes, I suppose. And right off the bat, in the Minish Village, what we need to do is find an item that is going to allow us to understand the Minish. Because right off the bat, I know I'm saying that a lot, we can't understand these guys. They just say Pico Picori. And I have no idea what that means. Or Rippy. Pico, something? I don't know. And he is correct. There is going to be one person that understands our language, and that is going to be, I don't know what you want to call him, like a wise man, shaman, something like that. A village elder person. But our next piece of heart is going to be over here, and this is going to be the final piece of heart we get for this video. Like so. And there's going to be 2 more heart pieces inside the dungeon, which I'm trying to think. I think this might be the first Zelda game that had heart pieces inside of a dungeon. I believe so. I know in Link to the Past, I think it's Link to the Past, maybe it's a Link Between Worlds, that you actually step outside the dungeon to get some heart pieces, but never inside the dungeon itself. So, we're going to have to find this Jabbernut, which is going to allow us to understand the Minish, and it's not displayed anywhere on the item screens, but once you get it, you can understand the Minish for the rest of the game. I don't know how exactly that would work, but I'm assuming it must send some information to Link's brain that permanently sticks, that the Picori invented? I don't know. And like with the town, you're free to talk to anyone here you like. I don't think I speak to too many people here. And this thing does not look like it'd be good to eat, but evidently Link wasn't bothered by it, so that's good. But now we can understand these dudes. And I guess he was watching us, or maybe Link said something to him, I don't know. And then talk to this guy. And kinstones are the second item that I've listed on the side. Those are basically little things, little side quests, if you will. They'll unlock cool new secrets, areas, items, whatever. And we can't access any kinstones right now, but soon enough we'll be able to. And then there's going to be some grinding for some certain kinstone pieces, because the green kind I believe you have to dig for, or slash bushes, pots, whatever The blue and red, they're a bit more common in chests, but you still might have to dig for some of them. But for some reason, the green ones are just really rare. There's figurines in this game, and I was thinking about putting those on the side, but I don't really think it's necessary because I'm going to be getting them all in one video. More than likely, we'll see. It's a little grindy process, but with the Switch, since you can create the save states, that's what I'm going to do for them, just so I don't end up wasting any seashells. But once we're done with talking with the Minish, we can talk to this little village elder dude, and he's going to introduce us basically to the 4 elements, which are going to be required to upgrade our sword later on. And the first one is actually really close. So he's just kind of explaining the elements, and we need his permission to make our way to the dungeon. So once we're done talking to him, we're going to make our way to the first dungeon, which is going to be giving us the earth element. So let's go on and talk to Fastari. I think his name is Fastari. Maybe Fastari? I don't know. Fastari sounds cooler. We'll be able to access this little covered area later on, but for now, we just gotta head over to Fastari and head over to our first dungeon. I don't really have too much more to add. Next video we'll be covering the first dungeon, which I believe it's called the Wind Temple or something like that. Temple Wind, something like that. Oh, we'll find out next video. Or no, not Temple Winds. What am I thinking? I don't know. I think that's later. But I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.